Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great, great world. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. We'll talk about Ripple and XRP as well. How the U.S. is accelerating de-dollarization by issuing staggering 10,000 unilateral sanctions on foreign entities over the last 2 decades. Such weaponization of the US dollar will ironically kill the petrodollar, which underpins the American empire's wealth and might. You know, whenever we use sanctions against one country, other countries take a look at that. They see it happening. That's why I believe more and more countries are wanting to join with the Brics. They don't want to be controlled by the US dollar anymore. That's what's going to cause the value of the US dollar to drop drastically at some point. Purchasing power of the US dollar during 100 years. And we see it's a downhill slope. The dollar is becoming more and more worthless. It's backed by empty promises and debt. Think about it. You go to work, you get paid in worthless paper. You pay your mortgage with worthless paper, your car payment with worthless paper. And I believe that's going to get worse as time goes on. I believe they're rushing to crash down this current financial system. Actually, incomes are up. How many times have you heard people say that? It's because people are working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet, so their income goes up. Inflation is down 7 months in a row. No, it's not. Products are shrinking and the price is staying the same. And if you look at gas, it's always going up. Unemployment is 3.4%, lowest since 1969. And why is unemployment down? Because people are working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. But they like to pretend, and create this narrative that things are getting better, and they're really not, and we know they're not. CBDC, money of the beast system. Brics nations accelerate de-dollarization and economic war against the 15 years of U.S. money printing, amplifying crippling hyperinflation in the U.S. And I believe hyperinflation is going to come. All it would take would be for Saudi Arabia to stand up on the stage and declare, we're now going to consider taking up other currencies for oil. And all of a sudden, bang, all of the countries that had to hold dollars for the last 50 years no longer have an interest in holding them. And if they all start to dump dollars, and I think it would happen quickly, you would have a tsunami of inflation hitting the shores of the West. Hence, CBDCs would be deployed. And maybe they're setting up for that situation. Because think about it. All of a sudden, the US dollar really comes crashing down. Hyperinflation sets in. You have emergencies going on throughout the country. Now they have to roll out a CBDC to fix it. And they wouldn't have to put it to a vote through Congress because of executive order that Biden signed last year. That could be the situation they're setting us up for. And I believe that can very well happen. With a cashless CBDC system, they can track, trace, and most importantly, tax every financial transaction you make. And again, think about it. Say, for instance, you hire a roofer under a CBDC. You have a digital wallet. He has a digital wallet of some sort. So he finishes up, you pay him. But before the money even gets to him, the IRS would get their tax dollars out of that money. I believe it's going to be like a pay-as-you-go basis as far as taxes in the future. You'll no longer have to file taxes at the end of the year. And I could see why they would want that, because look at these politicians. They're always talking about us paying our fair share, anti-money laundering. Elizabeth Warren is talking about it all the time. I believe that's why they're all in favor of a CBDC. Plus, it gives them a level playing field. They will do more than that. CBDCs go along with digital ID, which will be a microchip under the skin. There's a prophecy about that, the mark of the beast and the rise of the Antichrist. Everything is ready, are we? And we know Ripple has this as well. Bi-chip, microchip implant is now implementing Ripple payment systems in the product. This means that the microchip owners will not be needing to connect their microchip to their bank accounts anymore. And again, I'm never getting this chip I don't care if my XRP is worth $1 billion and the only way I can access it is to get this chip, I'm still not getting it. And I believe this is going to be tied to more than just your money. How carbon credits can finance climate action. This is coming from Ripple. So think about it. You have the chip, right? And you drive a car. They'll tie your carbon credits to that chip as well. I believe it's going to be your health records, everything. And I don't like the fact that they want to put it inside you. There's alternatives to that. Give me a card to carry. Whatever. I don't want it in my skin. And I don't think anybody should ever get this chip. But again, I believe that'll be talked about more and more as we get closer to CBDCs rolling out. And it's not just Ripple, it's Apple as well. If you notice your iPhone is charging a little slower recently, it may be due to a new setting Apple added in iOS 16.1, clean energy charging. With it turned on, iOS will recharge the iPhone's battery when the electrical grid uses cleaner energy sources like solar or wind. And it's not only Apple either, it's other companies as well. Everybody's pushing the green agenda because at some point they're going to roll out carbon credits. It's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry that's going to grow year over year, almost like another tax on all of us. What is the 15-minute city conspiracy theory? Now, they're downplaying this pretty good. But this one guy, he says, I've been doing urban planning for a long time, but I've never seen something like this. So this is something different than he's ever seen before. But yet they're saying, oh, no, it's just for the good of the community. But we know better because the World Economic Forum lays it all out for you to see. We see their whole plan. And that's why I believe people are standing up against 15-minute cities right now overseas in the UK. It's going to come to the US at some point as well. This is something I wanted to share with you because this is above and beyond. So the WHO, the World Health Organization, with their partners, the UN and the World Economic Forum, are not our friends. The global treaty is a tool for more authoritarian control. Now they're coming for your pets. As we see here, by signing on to the accord, a country acknowledges that most emergent infectious diseases originate in animals, including wildlife and domesticated animals, then spill over to people. That was the one part. If they're not coming for my pets, in my opinion, I'm not giving up my pets, period. In other words, a member state that signs on to the accord has to agree to drink the Kool-Aid. They don't want member states dissenting. So everyone needs to reaffirm their loyalty to an initiative called One Health Approach, almost like One Health Organization, almost like New World Order, One World Religion, whose scope includes the health of people, animals, and ecosystems. In my opinion, they are overstepping all along the way, and we know the WHO is no good. Look at what happened during the pandemic. But our countries are going to sign on for this as well because Bill Gates is tied in here and so is George Soros. And that's why I always said, you have to pay attention to what your government is talking about at all times. They tell you outright what they're trying to do, but it's hidden, inside different speeches they make, things like that. But again, they're never coming for my pets. We do not have a health crisis. We do not have a climate crisis. We have a corruption crisis, a tyranny crisis, and an orchestrated economy crisis. They're trying to tear down the current system. They're trying to bring about CBDCs. That way they can control all of us. And again, you see all the corruption that goes on inside governments. We talk about it all the time in XRP videos around the SEC. The corruption is far worse than that. I believe that's just the tip of the iceberg. But as XRP holders, we have to continue holding that XRP. I still believe as long as they don't try to put a chip in me, I'm going to live a much better life having money in the future. But we'll all have to wait and see what happens. But every agenda that the World Economic Forum pushes is always about one thing: control over me and you. That's why I make these videos. I want to wake people up to this before it's too late. People outside of crypto have no idea what a CBDC is half the time. You try to explain it to them, and right away they get defensive and say, the government's never going to let that happen. The same government is working against you. You need to wake up before it's too late. Because once they roll that out and people are put under that system, it will literally be too late. Then will come the digital IDs and the social credit score. And then before you know it, you'll be sitting in a house doing nothing and having no money, because everything will require carbon credits in the future. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.